Hello and welcome to Elixir tutorial session 2. In first session, we discussed installation of Elixir, what exactly is Elixir, how to use interactive mode Elixir IEX, and how we can write different expressions and verify them in IEX. And finally, we wrote our first Elixir program, which was the Hello World. In this session, we'll go over match operator and variables, pattern matching in Elixir, data types in Elixir, and finally modules and functions. For pattern matching, match operators and variables, let's jump to IEX. Here I am on the command prompt. I'll type IEX and hit enter. I'll enter the IEX. Now if I want to declare a variable and assign a value to it, in Elixir that's fairly straightforward. All I need to do is say a is equal to 1. It will assign one value to a. And I type a, hit enter, it prints the value of a, which is 1. Or I can say L is equal to maybe a list, 1, 2, 3, list of integers. Now if I type L and hit enter, it will print the list, which is assigned to L. Now in Elixir, I can also write 1 is equal to a. Now it gives me 1. And if I write 2 is equal to a, what would it give me? It gives me a matcher. It says no match of right hand side value 1. On right hand side we have a, and at the beginning of the program, at the beginning of this session, we have assigned one value to a. So that means this equal to operator that we have here isn't a plain assignment operator. It's a match operator. So what this operator does is it matches the right hand and left side values. If on left hand side we have a variable, this will assign the value on the right side to variable. Otherwise, it will compare the values on both sides and return the value in case the values match. Otherwise, it will give you a bad match error, or giving you specific reason what part is missing. For example, if I say I have a tuple with OK atom and a result that I'm expecting, and I say it's equal to a list. Now it won't accept it because it's expecting a tuple with OK and result, whereas I'm providing it only a list. But if I give something similar, a similar tuple with OK atom and followed by some value. Now result here is a variable. It will take whatever is passed as the second argument of the tuple. Now here if I print result, it will give me 1, 2, 3. This is pattern matching. Similarly, if I have a list, so from this list I want to find the first element of the list. How can I do it? For that, I can use pattern matching again. First, then I use vertical pipe, then I say rest and give it the list. So this should return me in first variable, which is first, it should give me the first element, which is 1. In rest, it should have the entire list except 1. First, it gives me 1. Rest, it gives me rest of the list. So now we can also declare anonymous functions in Elixir. So if I want to declare an anonymous function in Elixir, how can I do that? So say this rest list that I have, I want to map over it and multiply each element of it with 2. I'll use language convenience function enum.map. It will pass, it takes 2 parameters. First one is the list rest, second parameter is a function. So here I'll create an anonymous function which will take an argument and it will multiply that argument with itself. So here I get the list of squares. So what happened is rest is pass to enum.map as the first function, the first parameter of the function. Second parameter is an anonymous function, which we have defined here, function x with the arrow syntax. If you look closely at this, if you are familiar with maybe Java or JavaScript, this syntax would be familiar to you. In Java, this is pretty similar to how we write lambda expressions. So this is how we can use this match operator and pattern matching and variables to get different values out of complex data structures that we have created. Let's switch back to the presentation. Next we have is data type. Elixir has all the regular data types. In addition, Elixir has some unique data types for itself. For example, atom. Atom is a unique data type. In Elixir, atoms are depicted by the colon before their name. The constants in Elixir are generally atoms. True, false, nil, all these are constants and they are atoms. Atoms are actually constants whose name and value are exactly same. So you might be thinking, how do we use true, false, and nil in Elixir without colon in that case? That's because the nil, false, and true, these three atoms are special constants that can be used without colon. Next we have is anonymous function. I just gave you a definition of that. Next we have is tuple. So tuple is pretty similar to list. It's a collection of heterogeneous data, which we can, a tuple can have n number of elements. It is depicted by curly braces. The major difference between a list and a tuple is, list is a linked list in Elixir, whereas tuple is implemented using arrays. So tuples are stored in contiguous memory locations, which means they are faster to access as compared to linked list, which is linked list. Then we have integer, float, and boolean. They are pretty much same as any other language. And now it's time to write a small program in which we'll create a module, and inside that module we will also be creating a function, and we'll understand how we can call that function. I'll switch my screen to the text editor now, code editor rather than text editor. Here I am. So this is the same hello world program that we earlier had. Now we want to convert it into a proper Elixir program, Elixir file, which has modules in it and functions in it. So we can wrap this io.puts inside a function. For that, we need to use the keywords def. After def, we can give the name of the function hello underscore hello world, and this is the syntax of Elixir. At the after the name, we start the function with do, and at the end we say end. This will end the function. Now I can make call to this function hello world here, but this won't run as of now. The reason being, the functions cannot be outside modules in Elixir. So we'll have to create a module. For that, we have a keyword def module. Def module, and we can name it hello. Similarly, here it would be a do, and at the end where we want to end this particular module, we'll place end. And here, while calling this function, all we need to do is use the name of the module, and this should run now. Here I am on the CMD again. I have entered the folder Elixir where I had created that file. Here all I need to do is type Elixir space, el space hello.exs, and here it is running hello world. If I change this to something else, I go back here again and I run this file again, you will see my changes are reflecting here. So what I did is I created a module, def module hello, and inside that I created a function. This is a public function, and in the same file, using that module, I called this particular function hello world. I can have multiple modules within a function, but generally it is a practice that we create a single module inside a particular file and write all the functions that we want for that particular module inside that module. A module can have n number of functions in it. That's all for today. Thank you.